kind of give you an idea of how to set up your days, what your macros should look like, what carb cycling really means and why it works. What's going on, guys? We're back in the kitchen, but today we're not cooking. Today we're gonna do some learning. So a lot of you guys have been sending me messages about carb cycling and how to carb cycle and why do people carb cycle. And primarily the reason I think carb cycling works is it helps you keep your fat levels down. It works in a clean bulk or a lean bulk in the off season. It works really well when you're trying to diet down and stay in healthy levels and eating a balanced diet. Instead of crash dieting, or instead of doing a keto diet, or instead of doing one of these fad diets, you can do a carb cycling diet where you still get to enjoy some carbs and fats and proteins and everything all together, but you're kind of just cycling your calories a little bit. So we call it carb cycling, but you're actually going to cycle your fats a little bit too. The reason we get into carb cycling is because we're trying to deal with glycogen stores in the body. Now, the liver and the muscle stores glycogen for energy. Now, the liver generally stores for the body's systems and the things it needs to do to just live every day. And the muscle stores energy for explosive power and lifting and all the stuff we do in the gym. So let's assume this balloon is your muscle. So when you take in a small amount of carbs, you may be that full, okay? This is what you look like in a depleted state. This is the whole muscle. You have this little bit here that's full of glycogen. That's your glycogen stores. You feel weak, you feel tired. The muscle kind of looks droopy. It's not really pushing and doesn't really feel expanded. You're not getting great pumps. If you have good strength, it's kind of like it wears off after a few reps. You're not getting really long endurance type workouts with lots of strength all throughout, okay? You can be hovering around here in the middle plate, in the middle zone here, and you can feel pretty good. You feel like you're getting pretty good pumps. You feel like you're healthy. You feel like you're not like real swole all the time. You're probably not retaining a lot of water and your body's functioning pretty well. This is like, to me, this is a good place to be. Not if you're trying to put on a ton of muscle, but if you're trying to just feel healthy and stay healthy and keep your body fat levels down, this is a good place to be. Now, when you're fully loaded, you're here, okay? This is full blown. Okay? The muscle's full to the top. You've taken in 1,000 grams of carbs that day, 500 grams of carbs that day, whatever size body you are is gonna be dependent, obviously, on how hard it is to fill your body up. But when you get full, the muscle gets full, now you have that really swollen feeling. The pumps in the gym are way better. It almost feels a little unhealthy, like you're kind of walking around swole all the time, your muscles are all puffed out, but it's amazing in the gym, and that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for more muscle. So it might not feel great all day long walking around. Your body might feel a little inflamed, but in the gym, you feel like a king, right? You're in there, you're lifting, your pumps are crazy, your strength is through the roof. This is where bodybuilders want to live, right here. That's where you want to live all off season, okay? The more you can stay here, the more you can grow, but it's hard to stay right in this place. So if you're eating, let's say it takes, let's just use any number. Let's say it takes 1,000 grams of carbs to live in this place. You're not going to necessarily use those 1,000 grams of carbs every day. So if I do 1,000 grams of carbs today and I'm loaded and then I go work out and I get to here, I burn off that much, right? Tomorrow I go back and have another 1,000 grams of carbs. Well, now I'm out. I'm spilling over. You hear the term spilling over, okay? This is what it is. So now I have too much carbs and it's spilling over. What does that do? Now we're retaining fat. Okay, when your body is taking in too many carbs for the muscle to hold the glycogen, it starts storing it as fat. So you spill over because you're getting more carbs than you need. And this is why we can't do 1,000 grams of carbs every day and expect to stay lean. It just doesn't work that way, okay? You're gonna eventually put on fat. So this is where carb cycling comes into play. We have our muscle, we're here. Okay, we woke up like that. Today's a high carb day. We're gonna eat 1,000 grams of carbs, right? You eat 1,000 grams, now you're here. You feel great. Okay, you ate your 1,000 grams of carbs today. Tomorrow, you woke up, you didn't work out today. You just ate 1,000 grams of carbs and you rested and let your body kind of soak up all that glycogen, right? You wake up and you're here. You feel really full and you're ready to go. So tomorrow, you go train. you burn off this much. So now you're here. But tomorrow, when you work out, it's a medium day. So now you're taking in less carbs, plus you worked out. So you top this up a little bit, so you're here, right? I ate a medium level amount of carbs. So instead of 1,000, I ate 750, okay? So I'm supposed to be here, but I worked out, so I'm gonna land at the end of the day about here, right? I worked out, but I ate 750 grams of carbs, so it all kind of worked out, and I'm like somewhere in the middle, right? I have some glycogen stores left. I burned off some in the gym, but now it's time for the third day. The third day, I'm gonna do low carbs, or low calorie, low carb, right? So I'm only gonna take in, so I took in 750 on the second day, on the low day, and again, these are just hypothetical numbers. You would never take in 500 grams on a low day unless you were absolutely enormous. So anyway, so let's say you take in 500 grams on the low day. Well, you were here, you burned off this much on the third day working out, but you only took in 500 grams. So now you're sitting here. Okay, so what we're doing, if you notice, okay, regardless of where the lines are, okay, what you're doing is you've topped up this muscle one day, and then the next day you're gonna take in less carbs and you're gonna work out, so it's gonna be there. Then the third day you're gonna take in even less carbs and you're gonna work out, and it's gonna be there. When you do your high carb day, you're loaded, then you work out, you do your medium day, and then you come down, your glycogen comes down a bit, and then the third day you do your low carbs, and you work out, you come down a little more. So you're living, while you're on a carb cycling program, you're living in this area the whole time. And that is the benefit of carb cycling, okay? Instead of eating 1,000 grams every single day and eventually spilling over and starting to store fat and add fat, because remember, anything above this limit, if this is 1,000, right? This is 1,000, say this is 1,000, this is 1,200. Just using numbers, right? Well, once this gets full, if you're taking in 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 every day, you're not gonna burn 1,000 every day. So when this gets full, it's gonna spill and you're gonna store fat. That's the benefit of carb cycling. We're gonna live right here, right? We're gonna load, we're gonna work out. We're gonna load a little more, we're gonna work out. We're gonna load a little bit, we're gonna burn some fat, right? This day, what's the benefit of this day? What's the benefit of being this low? You're only this low for one day, right? When your glycogen is that low for one day, you're gonna burn some fat on that day, right? You're manipulating your carbs, your body doesn't know what's going on, your carbohydrate levels are very low, your blood sugar levels are very low, you've increased your fats, your hormone levels are good because you've increased your fats. You're gonna burn some fat on this day, right? But on this day, you have no fats, but your carbs are very high, so now your body's sped up. You can burn some fat on this day too, right? It doesn't necessarily mean because there's lots of carbs that you're not gonna burn fat. If your body is not over this limit, you can burn fat, as long as your calories are in a small deficit, right? You're probably not gonna be in a deficit here, here, or here if you're using this for an off-season diet, okay? If you're using it for a lean bulk, these are probably all gonna be in a surplus, regardless, because even if you're at 500 grams, now you've increased your fats. So you're gonna go back up, okay? And I'm gonna show you that with the meals we have set up. But that's the purpose of this, is so we don't end up getting fat, and we can actually keep our body in a state where the glycogen levels are high, and then we're burning them off. So you got to think, even when you burn them off, right? Let's say you have a day here and a day here. Your glycogen stores aren't all the way empty. So even when they're low, you're still going to have good strength and good power, as long as you don't stay low for a long period of time. Now, if you're dieting for a show, there's other ways to do it. You might do 1,000 grams Monday, and then you might go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 500 grams, and let your body stay in a depleted state, burn more fat off, and then when it gets very depleted, because this eventually will go down and down and down and down if you stay at this low number. Once you get to that very depleted state, you're gonna go back up, 1,000. Fill it right back up. right? Then you're gonna take another 3 days of low. Burn that glycogen. Burn it, burn it, burn it all the way down. Then when you feel depleted, you feel weak, you feel shitty, spike again. And that's how a diet works. It's just that repetitive, right? You don't have to go high, medium, low. You can go high, low, low, low. I've done diets where there was 6 days of low and 1 day of super high, right? So there are many, many different ways to carb cycle or calorie cycle, depending on how you're gonna look at it. So let's look at some meal choices and how I have them set up, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of what it looks like actually on paper in your kitchen when you're all set up, okay? So if we take the high, medium, low example, we have the high day first, okay? We're gonna do, these are some rules, okay? We're gonna do carbs for all 6 meals. It's our high day, we wanna get carbs in as often. Let's say we're gonna assume we're eating 6 meals a day. Get carbs in for all 6 meals, okay? It's gonna be a very low to almost no fat day. Now, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. This is 1 meal on a high day. It would be 6 ounces of tilapia. We're gonna do 300 grams of rice, which is it's quite a bit of rice, okay? Now this is also, this is dependent on your body size. So if you weigh 150 pounds or 180 pounds, you might not do 300 grams of rice. You might do 200 might be your high day. So you have to figure out what your calories are for the day, but this is just an example of what 1 meal would look like. 6 ounces of tilapia, 300 grams of rice, and 1 cup of vegetables. So the calories there, we have 628 calories in this meal. We have 54 grams of protein, 90 grams of carbs, and only 6 grams of fat. Okay, so very low fat. This is your numbers for the day, 628, or for that meal, 628. And you're gonna repeat this meal, or something similar to this. You're gonna try and repeat this meal 6 times, okay? So your tilapia might switch to egg whites, it might switch to chicken breast, turkey breast, whatever other lean meat you can plug in there. Your rice might switch to potato, might switch to oatmeal, it might switch to another clean source of carbs that you can think of, sweet potato. But these are the numbers that you're gonna work with the next days as well, right? So you're trying to stay within this framework. So if we go to the medium day, so let's say this was meal 4, okay, on Monday. This is meal 4 on Tuesday. This is our medium day. So we're gonna do 6 ounces of chicken instead of tilapia. It's a little bit higher in fat. 200 grams of rice instead of 3, so we brought the carbs down a little bit. And 1 cup of vegetables, okay? We didn't really change much. All we did was drop the fat, or drop the carbs a little bit from 300 to 200 grams. Everything else pretty much stays the same. Chicken is not that different than tilapia. It's okay, right? But if you look at the numbers, it's what we want. So we got 610 calories, so we're still in the same ballpark. We're still in the 600 calorie range. 54 grams of protein. We're still almost exact, or it is exact, right? Between the chicken and the tilapia. We have 61 grams of carbs versus the 90 on our high day. So we've come down almost 30 grams of carbs per meal times 6, right? So, and then we have 15 grams of fat. Now that's because chicken is fattier than tilapia, so we're gonna end up with 15 grams of fat. And these are, by the way, these are cooked numbers. So if you're gonna look it up, it's 6 ounces of tilapia is cooked, 6 ounces of chicken cooked. But 15 grams, so we almost double, 2.5 times the fat level, right? But it's okay because we came down on our carbs. Now remember, this is a lean bulk. So we're not trying to be in a deficit. We're just trying to manipulate our carbs so that they can use them, right? So the muscle can use them, right? So on this day, you're gonna do carbs 5 times. So on my last meal, I'm not gonna have any carbs. It would just be chicken and veg, or maybe it'll be a flank steak and a veg. You have a little bit of fat in the flank. You're gonna have low fat, so that means you might have, like I said, flank at the end of the night. You might have another red meat meal somewhere during the day. There's gonna be chicken, probably more chicken than fish in this day, so you're gonna get some fat from the chicken. You might throw a couple eggs in your breakfast. You're gonna have some fat from the yolk. So there'll be a little bit more fat throughout the entire day. You're gonna look at this difference, right? You're gonna go up a little bit more fat in all your meals, but you're gonna go down significantly in your carb portions, okay? So then the last day we have is your low day. On your low day, you're focused mainly on fats, okay? So on your low day, this meal 4, is gonna be flank. We're gonna do red meat. We're gonna do flank instead of chicken or fish because we want the fat from it, right? We're gonna do 100 grams of rice. We don't need 200, we don't need 300. We do 100 grams of rice. It's the least of the 3 days. 100 grams of avocado. So we're gonna do flank, rice, and avocado, and that's gonna be our meal 4. It's an example of one meal on a low day. Now, what do you notice is we're still 620 calories, right? 610, 628, 610, 620 here. So we're still in the 600 calorie range, which is where we wanna be. We don't want to have large variations in our calories because we're lean bulking. So we want to make sure we keep our calories similar every day so that we can keep bulking. We're just trying to manipulate the macronutrients. So we're still in the 600 calorie range. Proteins, you see, we're good across the board, 54, 54, 51. We're staying similar. Carbs, what we did. What did we do? High day 90, medium day 68, 61, and the low day 28. We're down another 30 grams of carbs. And then our fats, you see we went from 6 on the high day, 15 on the medium day, and 29 on the low day. Okay, so we increased our fats. We doubled our fats almost. Now on this day, you're probably gonna do carbs 4 times. So on my low day, I'm gonna do carbs. I probably won't do any of my breakfast, and I probably won't do any of my last meal. So not only am I gonna only have 30 grams, but I'm only gonna have it times 4 meals. So now on this day, I'm only having 120 grams of carbs, right? On this day, I'm having 300. So this is 150 grams total because I'm gonna do 4 meals. This is 5 times 60 is 300 grams for the day. And then I'm gonna do 9 times 60, or 90 times 6 is 540 on my high day. So what do you see throughout the day, right? 540 grams of carbs here, 300 grams here, and 150 grams here. We're coming down 150 grams every day. We're increasing our fats. So this is carbs, right? Our fats times 6, 36 grams of fat on our high day, all right? 15 times 5 is 75 on our medium day, and then we'll say 30 times 4 is 120. And it's basically a crisscross. So what you're doing is your carbs and your fats, and they're gonna go like this. Okay, this is your carbs, right? They're gonna go down over the 3 days, and these are your fats, okay? So you're crisscrossing macronutrients for energy profiles. And in the process, you're keeping this thing in this little zone here. Okay, so you're not spilling over. And that's the whole reason behind it. Until next time, guys, subscribe to the channel, like, share with your friends. Thank you for watching, and we'll get you guys more videos soon.